who are darker than a lot of the so-called, well, you find them being very, very, very dark, darker than the average dark-skinned so-called African American. And due to the fact of where they are from, when they get their citizenship, when they're naturalized in the so-called U.S., they are categorized as white, which further means that white has nothing to do, or black has nothing to do with skin tone whatsoever. So let me go back up here. Okay, so it says again, the suit says East L ended up selecting white, which under a federal directive is defined as people with origins from Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. But it's more specific than that, so we're going to go to that. What you see here, it says L's national origin is Moorish. It says it's not assumed. Listen, guys, it does not say L's Moorish or L's national origin is black or African American. It says from the people who inhabited North and Northwest Africa, according to his suit. That I have to say, UPS is going to lose this suit. They're going to have to pay this brother this $600,000. And brother Kaon-Jabbar East L, may the Most High be with you. Period. Do not settle out. Push it to the limit. Rick Ross them. You hear me? Okay, so let's move on, because we mentioned before, guys, we mentioned the federal directive, right? It says here, the suit says East L ended up selecting white, which under a federal directive is defined as people with origins from Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East. Now, how do we know that that's true? We know that's true because we are going to go over to Federal Directive 15. And you will be able to find this particular link in the description of this video, and as well you will be able to find the link to the article dealing with brother East L. You'll be able to find the link to that. So this is Office of Management and Budget, OMB, Directive 15, Race and Ethnic Standards for Federal Statistics and Administrative Reporting. All right, so Race and Ethnic Standards for Federal Statistics and Administrative Reporting. Now, this was adopted on May 12th, 1977. So let's read and start this off, because I think a lot of people who think that these particular brand names or whatever the case, they think that they are identities, and they're not, right? So it says this directive provides standard classifications for recording, collection, and presentation of data on race and ethnicity in federal program, administrative reporting, and statistical activities. These classifications should not be interpreted as being scientific or anthropological in nature, nor should they be viewed as determinants of eligibility for participation in any federal program. They have been developed in response to needs expressed by both the executive branch and the Congress to provide for the collection and use of compatible, non-duplicated, exchangeable racial and ethnic data by federal agencies. So we can see here, these classifications should not be interpreted as being scientific or anthropological in nature. So these are not based on fact. This is basically what they're telling you. So this whole I'm black and the white man and white supremacy and the black people and the light skin, it has nothing to do at all with it being based on fact. That is not truly your identity. So let's go on and read some of these. Let's start off. Okay, let's start off with here. Let's just start off with white. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East. Now, Middle East is a fraud. There's no such thing as the Middle East. They created that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. All Africa, pretty much. Anyway, it's a whole nother story. But as we can see here, you see how many different people fall up under this? A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, You see how that says original peoples of Europe, North Africa, or the Middle East? Right. So, and he goes on here and he says what? They says that he's Moorish from the people who inhabited North and Northwest Africa, according to this suit, to his suit. So if this is the case, that means that truthfully, he would be white. How do we know that? How do we know that? Let's look up a man by the name of Mustafa Hefni. You know, because so-called black people, they always assume, well, if you're from Africa, you're black. That's what they say. If you're from Africa, you're black. Okay, so let's look at this here. Let's see if we can find something. Ooh, here we go. This looks good. This looks like this will be a good one. See, this brother, who was also a Moor, as well as brother East L, right? His argument is totally different. His argument is totally different. And we'll go back to other brother's story. It says, what if you identified as one race, but because of geographical differences, you were told you were another race, even if your skin tone said otherwise? Is it right to determine race by skin tone alone? Does race itself even exist? Now, let's go down to where we can find this here. You have Mustafa Hefni, who was an Egyptian immigrant. Here's the brother right here. We've seen plenty of brothers that look like him here in the Americas. Plenty that have never been to Africa, wasn't born in Africa, you see? And our people, so-called black people, would call him a black man. That's what they would say. So it says, an Egyptian immigrant, Mustafa Hefni, who came to the United States and was told he was white, despite his skin color. To understand this, let us first establish the U.S. racial classification system. The U.S. Census Bureau defines race as a social category recognized by the United States and does not attempt to define race biologically, anthropologically, or genetically. Wow, look at that. So you, our people, so-called black people that's out there, those who call themselves black, right? You think that this deals with you biologically, anthropologically, genetically, when it does not. It is not. It is simply not based on fact. It's just as simple as that. It is simply not based on fact. Period. So I'm glad y'all saw this. So again, introducing Mustafa Hefni, an Egyptian immigrant who came to the United States and was told he was white despite his skin color. And that is because racial classification